It's time to play some stuff.
Welcome back. Welcome back to Play Some Stuff for World of Warcraft. I'm your host, MultimediaJay, and, yeah. Have you had enough of the pandas all over the place yet? I sure have. It's enough of this. So, we are going to change things up and basically do a reboot of the whole play. Kill that silly music! Ah, much better, much better. So what we're going to do here is, yes, I'm not really planning on doing much in terms of gaming videos on this channel. That's going to be more of a daily motion type thing. However, what I intend on doing is having a few select games that traditionally can get posted on YouTube a lot without there being lots of issues. World of Warcraft being one of them, Guild Wars 2 being another, and whatever games I happen to want to add. But the series will be more restricted in focus, and I want to change a few things up too. Because nobody's going to watch this because it's a gaming video. Oh no! If you're not PewDiePie, nobody's going to watch your stuff. Because of that, I'm going to take some liberties with the traditional Let's Play or review format here and actually have some, like, you know, those things that I do in the vlogs or the tech series where I switch from one section to another. I'm actually going to do that instead of boring you folks with, like, showing this guy running around or flying or stuff like that. But anyways, alright, so, but there will be one exception. This very first one. Let's turn the music back on. No, we don't want to find a guild. So, first things first, you'll notice we're in the old hub for portals from Mists of Pandaria, which I still have my Hearthstone set to, because I still like it. It's a nice looking place, it's got everything, and it's got portals, and with the addition of garrison Hearthstones for the new garrisons and Warlords of Draenor, what I do is I just come over here, take care of whatever business I need in the peace and quiet, like transmogs or auction house, something like that, and then use the garrison Hearthstone to go back to Draenor. For those of you new to World of Warcraft, Warlords of Draenor, basically it's Blizzard's take on alternate 1985 from Back to the Future Part 2. The game Draenor takes place in the past, but it's an alternate timeline from the one that the rest of the Warcraft series is in that is linked via the Dark Portal, which is now turned red. And so the story is that we don't want these orcs who've never drank the demon blood and are now this giant war machine to attack our timeline. So it is kind of like Hill Valley, alternate Hill Valley, that kind of deal. But there isn't really any kind of emphasis on time travel. Although a cross between World of Warcraft and Chrono Trigger would be hilarious. But then again, we already have the Caverns of Time, so there already is some of that. Okay, this is about Warlords of Draenor, not Mists of Pandaria. Let's get out of here. But before we do that, one last thing. Notice who I'm playing here. My actual main. That's right. This is Goodmain, the Paladin, who's now sitting happily at level 99. One more level to go before hitting 100, the new level cap in this game. And basically, the big thing with Warlords is one of the big things I like about it is that they cleaned up some of the skills on some of these characters and some of these classes. With Ret Paladins in particular, they took out Inquisition, which was an absolutely stupid idea. It literally was, click this button to have your damage not be lousy. It was about as shallow a game mechanic as the old warrior shouts that only lasted 2 minutes. I don't know why they gave it to Paladins, but anyway. So we're showing off the new models. Of course, there's been a lot of graphical overhauls to the game in terms of the new models and characters and stuff like that. Basically, the Pandaren, the Goblins, and the Worgen were light years ahead of the other models, so they decided to update everything. So,
you a chipper-looking one.
Aren't you a chipper-looking one? So, we of course now have a lot better-looking models, kind of on par with like Morrowind mods and stuff like that. Well, Morrowind, Oblivion, something like that, but World of Warcraft has always had a very cartoony look to it. Alright, let's stop running around in circles here in old Mists of Pandaria stuff. To the Batcave! Garrison. Brand new Hearthstone. This will be the only loading screen I show in the video here. I don't intend on keeping the camera screen thingy, whatever you want to call it, NVIDIA Shadow Play, rolling like I used to do in these videos, then have these 30-minute monstrosities. So, here we are, the garrison, the level 2 Alliance garrison, and one of the biggest annoyances that I have with this game right now, right over here. You notice how, with the whole look and stuff, this looks like a Skyrim house mod. It's kind of got that mead hall, or like Nordic lodge type feel or something like that, even though it's a generic Alliance building in a town hall. But notice, we got this huge fire here, and you can't cook with it. Requires cooking fire. Requires cooking fire. What the heck, Blizzard? Why do we have a huge fire here? I mean, if this was Skyrim, there'd be a pot right around here or so, and you'd be able to cook with it. But no, you gotta place a cooking fire in the fire, and then you can cook something. Look at how redundant this is! All this just to make some cleft hoof sausages. Whatever. Alright, so the garrisons. This is Blizzard's answer to player housing. All those years crying about player housing. And so, already we've got a friend here, character. Defender Alona! I think that's how you say it. A Draenor protection paladin who is hands down one of the best follower NPCs in the game. Some of the followers have a special trait called Bodyguard, which lets them basically be your outdoor companion in the outdoor zones. Think like your sidekick in the Neverwinter MMO. And of course we got Fuzzbird, the Moonkin, who will dance like an idiot if you dance with him. Yeah! Okay. Biggest problem, though, is she's in the way so much. I often accidentally bring up this dialogue and almost send her back to the barracks. She has a reputation bar, just like a lot of the NPCs did when you did your daily quests in Mists of Pandaria. So, this is the command table. Is there anything done? Yes, there are 3 completed missions. So this is kind of like a mini-game. One of the things that brings Warcraft back into Warcraft is this little mini-game where you click through and give your followers missions. They go out and they do stuff, and they level up, and they bring in gold, and they bring in resources for the garrison and stuff like that. It's kind of a cute little mini-game on the side. It does cause issues, though, because as you play through the content that you're doing yourself, every so often, ding, mission complete, ding, mission complete. Go back, and you have to go back to your garrison and assign people to stuff and things like that. Hey, money! Free money! Alright, I want to level up. Let's take the lowest level person who can deal with... It's basically what you do with this is you figure out what does the monster do, who can counter what the monster can do, and come back when it's over. So I'm looking to make some money here, so that's too high level for my folks, and the rest is all XP, so I'm not going to bore you to death with this, but it's kind of like when you work like a position in a factory or something, you get promoted into management later on. Most of these World of Warcraft folks have basically been homeless heroes, and now finally they have a home, and finally they're some kind of leader. Let's go into the garrison that you've seen in 50 bazillion Let's Plays, going all the way back to the beta. Lunarfall! I do not have any new mail. And of course, any of the followers that are not on missions will be chilling around here. And then of course you have the soldiers.
Good to see you, Commander. What are your orders?
Commander! But this already has way more Warcraft in it than the entire Mists expansion did.
All's quiet, Commander.
Hey, look, he salutes you and you walk by him. Cool. The Horde base is, well, Horde-themed and stuff. The biggest complaint about these garrisons, though, is they're not really, they're not culturally themed based on your character. There's people that play Night Elves, for example, that want some kind of Night Elf base in order to call their own. So, anyways, this is the garrison. This is Blizzard's take on player housing. You can change what the buildings are. You can upgrade the buildings. And the buildings can actually do work for you. The big problem I have with the whole work system, though, it is just painstakingly slow. Each work order takes 4 hours to complete. Now, you can queue a bunch of them and pick up a bunch of materials the next day or something like that, but maybe they were going for realism. They were, doing something like, yeah, there's one available right over here. Yeah, let's have it simulate people actually working for you and only making 1 bar in 4 hours. Okay. You lazy slugs! Double your efforts! Whatever. So I basically have a blacksmith and an engineering shop for equipment and gear. Of course, engineering, I like engineering, so of course I am an engineer, so I can augment the stuff. But this leads to one of my other complaints in the game, and that is crafting is just terrible. I mean, really terrible. So the thing I just picked up, so here's the bar, true steel ingot. You can create these if you're a blacksmith, I think. I don't know if you can make them if you mine, but you can create them if you're a blacksmith. And if you get enough of them, you can actually go to this vendor over here.
Hey there.
And actually, oh no, not this one. Well, let's start some new work orders. You can start work orders, and eventually you can actually get weapons and armor and stuff. Let's see, schematic. Oh, this is the engineering shop. Wrong one. Let me go see what the problem is. All of these reagents or whatever. you have daily cooldowns. You can only make like one set of gears per day. Have I made my my gear spring gears for the day, by the way? Let's take a look at that. Oh no! Oh yeah. So just go somewhere there's an anvil. You make 4 of these per day. Here's the problem. You go to buy your goggles or something like that, and they cost like 100 gears. Let's, actually no, I've got it in the menu. Not on the Retribution spec, but let's open up our engineering menu here. So, Racer Guard Mech Shades. I've been wanting to make these things since the start of the darn expansion. They require level 91. These could have helped me level. However, they cost 100 gear spring parts. Now, I've been slamming the heck out of my base to make more and more of these things, but unless you get your alts in on it, and you get your alts in on the fun to process the materials, you're pretty much guaranteed. I mean, I'm level 99, and I still don't have my goggles yet that I could have gotten at level 91. So, it's a little slow. And the same thing, too, with the high-level weapons, too, and weapons and armor from the blacksmith station. See, I thought because I wasn't a blacksmith that I wouldn't have to worry about too many of these true steel bars. No, you need a lot of them. You need 100 of them to get a weapon. So the odds are, let's just go over there and see how this problem continues to be a problem on the blacksmithing side. Well, that's work orders. Doo-dah, doo-dah, doo-dah. Yeah, so here's a helmet, right? It requires 5 of those things. Let's go see what it takes to get a weapon. 100 of those freaking ingots. And look at the difference. I have only 18 true steel ingots between myself and on my person and my reagent bank. And I have way over 100 true iron ore and black rock ore. So I have way too much ore, nowhere near enough true steel ingots. So it's going to be a while before I get my blue item level 630 weapon. What am I up to right now from just killing rares? Item level 563 for requiring level 94. Ah, Blizzard, you need to tweak a few things. See, Blizzard didn't want these buildings to replace the primary professions. But I'm an engineer, and I still don't have my goggles. And I'm about to hit 100 at the rate I'm going. The odds are I will be level 100 before I get my goggles. Not good. Alright. Meanwhile, while you're away, little resource thingies build up here. Yay, 7 more resources! And for the gathering professions, you get an herb garden, you get a mine, and you get a fishing place. And you can go fish in your fishing pond, you can go mine your mine, and you can go pick the flowers in the garden without actually having those professions. So, the garrisons, as far as I'm concerned, they're nice, but some of the timing on some of this stuff is a little off. Alright, let's quit running around like an idiot and go fight some stuff or quest. We've landed! Welcome to Talador, one of my favorite zones in the whole game. It's basically Terrakar Forest before it became Terrakar Forest. And we can see really just what kind of, fall from grace type thing took place when Talador became Terrakar. So this is basically pre-shattering Draenor. If we bring out the map here, you got Tanan Jungle, which corresponds with Hellfire Peninsula. Shadow Moon Valley is this lush green place instead of the ugly place at Black Temple. Yay, another WoW census completed. I'll bet there's only about 1,500. There's only 1,500 people on Terralion versus the thousands on Stormrage. Talador, Terrakar Forest. I think between Gorgrond and Frostfire Ridge is what the Blades Edge Mountains are supposed to be like. Nagrand, still Nagrand. I haven't even uncovered the whole map there yet. I'm still questing there. Now, while we're on the topic of questing is amazing. The quests in this game are extremely well defined. So well defined, as a matter of fact, that it practically almost makes this into a single player experience. There are people out there, altaholics like myself, who are finishing up their main character and questing on their alts instead of power grinding dungeons to level. Questing. In other words, they liked the stories so much, they went through them again. We're at Fort Rin, which is the Alliance outpost for your garrison. And everywhere you go, you get to pick what you want to build there in all the zones. So for Gorgrond, I went with a lumber thing. It gave me a giant shredder that I can jump into and blow up the elites. And then, of course, here I went with the artillery tower. The alternative was some kind of mage thing. But you can actually pick your... You can actually come over here and pick missions for your followers from here. It's not faced like the garrison is, but you can come out here, you can give your people stuff to do, and you don't have to go all the way back to the garrison, just go back to your outpost. Now, the fun part about this artillery thing is I've got 3 charges of the artillery cannons. So if I've got a big... so if we head out here, and I encounter a big enemy that I want to take down... Okay, you know what? We're going to nuke the heck out of that level 1 moth. Stand still, little moth. Wait a minute. Stop flying, you idiot. Okay. I don't see if I attack the moth, then Paladin lady here is gonna. Okay. All right. Calling an artillery strike, Delta Bravo. Boom! You get 3 charges of that, and the cannons get reloaded every 3 minutes. So if you've got some elite that you want to take down or something like that, just load all 3 of them up. I think the other building you can only fire off 1 of them. So okay, let's waste the other 2 shots on blowing up this frog. Boom! So yeah, it gets pretty interesting. The other zones like Nagran, I actually built a corral so we can actually do mounted combat, which is a little contrived in this game. But alright, so we're out here in Talador. Now, it's time to turn on the music. Let's see if what I think is going to play starts playing. Well, nothing. Let's turn on loop music. Because this is a zone you're going to want to loop the music in. Still nothing! Wow, this game's making me look like an idiot tonight. This is it. Have a listen to this. Does this sound like a nod to something? I wonder. Recognize it yet? If you don't recognize it by now, I'm going to give you a hint. Final Fantasy VI, the Terra theme. This is such a nod. It's outrageous. Now, I know there's a lot of classic gamers that are on staff at Blizzard, and I know there have been references to good games in this game before, like the Nintendo references in Ungoro Crater. But this, I hope I don't get sued. You know, this is awesome music. Well, if Square Enix throws a hissy fit, then... yeah, I'm collecting timber for the lumber mill. If they throw a hissy fit, well, it's always on YouTube anyways, unless they throw a hissy fit there, too. Oh, we walked out of the zone and the music stopped. Oh, ain't that too bad. So, alright, so if you get the lumber mill, as you saw with that Alliance-style, alright, off I go then, peasant doing this, you get to have folks cut down trees for you and bring resources to your garrison that way. When you hit level 2, you get upgraded to these guys. You need a tree murdered, Commander? Good old tongue-in-cheek humor. But, I haven't gotten level 3 yet. Well, they have big robot machines or something like that. Why don't we go fight something to explain why Defender Elona is such an incredible companion to have in this game and the outdoor zones. Alright, so before we attack that Terra Claw over there, let me enlarge the UI all the way so we can take a look at her stats and see why Defender Elona is such an incredible companion. So here I blew everything up all the way. So, here's my guy at 142,000 health, 31,000 mana. Now she is an NPC follower. Look at her health and her stats. Close it. So, 142k for my character in DPS spec. She is a tank with 135k. She has way more health and notably more armor than most of the other followers and most of the other folks in most of the other follower types in the game. Let's turn this back down over here. And so those of you who are leveling classes that were looking for a tank, or not like a tank pet, but like a tank assistant or a tank companion, she is that tank companion. I don't know if she has a horde counterpart, but just look at that, yeah. She throws around Hammer the Righteous, and she taunts. And if you by chance were to get killed, she casts the old paladin spell Divine Intervention, which kills her but saves you, and gives you a giant shield that absorbs 100,000 damage. Now, I've heard some people on on Wowhead and stuff like that saying things about if you were otherwise going to die from fall damage, she will cast a spell on you she'll cast DI on you to save you. Let's see if that's true. Yep, Shadow Moon Valley. This looks nice and high. Let's use the Goblin Glider to get out a little ways away and then turn it off and plummet to our doom. Ready? Bonsai! Na-na-na-na-na-na-na, Batman! Alright, let's turn it off right about here. Splat! Okay, the rumors on the internet were wrong, and I just earned myself a repair bill. Oh, joy! So if you lemon yourself, she doesn't cast Divine Intervention on you. But if something else would have otherwise killed you, then then she sacrifices herself for you, and that kind of thing, and you get a shield thing that absorbs 100,000 damage, which, since my character has 138k, means the shield would absorb that character's health and damage again. Anywho. The red letters are saying things to me. You are dead. You are dead. You are dead. Yeah. I get the point, red letters. My character did a lemming thing. Yeah, I said lemming yourself, not lemon yourself. It appears that NVIDIA Shadowplay needs a little work when it comes to how it records audio. Resurrect! And we're back. And so is she! Let's see here. Together we shall fall. Another massive improvement. Off-healing for Ret Paladins has been improved. It's no longer the case you just cast 2 heals and you gotta stop. Eventually what happens is you go out of mana and your casting speed gets slowed down. So you can't keep groups alive like this, but I've actually had some of this off-healing save a tank once or twice. Oh, I got error speech turned on. Yeah, see, so now you gotta wait a while because of that artificially high regeneration. Prop paladins have it even higher too. I don't see why you would use it in some kind of group or anything like that. Anyways, I'm not going to do a demonstration of her casting DI because I don't feel like losing her for an hour, because that's what happens when your bodyguard followers die in this game. You basically... Where did Blizzard get the idea for the music in this game? I'm telling you, this is the first expansion of this game that I've ever played where not only have I kept the music on, instead of control-lemming it and going, shut up! I've actually kept the music on, and I've turned on loop music. Oh, cool, a Draenor Way Shrine. We can pray here and get some blessing of some sort. I always take the DPS one, not only because it's called Blessing of Kara, and I was a big fan of Karazhan. So... Anyways, when one of your bodyguard followers dies, you get a 1-hour debuff, and that's like, they're basically out of the game for an hour. But you can always go back to your garrison. Ooh, another census complete. You can always go back to your garrison and swap for another bodyguard NPC, which is what I intend on doing, just to show you why Defender Ilona here is so incredible compared to... That's Talador. I'm going the wrong way. Jump cut! Welcome back to the garrison. Okay, so we got Defender Ilona here, who's the tank. I don't know if she has a horde counterpart, but 138k versus 135k. Now, this doesn't mean that she's a super tank who, if she were allowed in instances, could tank mobs for you. Let's switch to protection spec here. Oh, cool, the guy's mouse will off center when he's doing that. So if I change to protection spec, and of course, I think health pools are, let's see, let's go to the one-hander and shield here. It doesn't really affect the health pools too much. 166k. So if I were playing as a real tank, I would still have more health than she does. So it's basically like a tank companion, so to speak. But here's the interesting part. Let's change their specs back here and get the two-hander back out. I'm going to swap her for the other tank that I have. Well, let's just go to, not that table, that's for missions. We go to the command table to affect the buildings. Here is where you tweak your buildings, and you can assign followers to buildings, get bonuses. Whoever's assigned to the barracks is your defender. So if we release Defender Ilona from her duties, her NPC will disappear when I close the window. Hey, the mission's complete! Okay, she's gone. Alright, and now we can assign someone else. So let's assign So, Tormach is an arms warrior, and that's interesting. He's purple because I got a random level up. There's random level ups in the questing, too, which is awesome for your quest rewards. You can actually get blues or purples from doing quests if you're lucky. It's kind of like the same loot rolls that you would get when you downed a boss in a raid. So it's one of the things that has made questing a lot better is you're not always getting greens that are useless. You might actually get something that's entry-level raid ready at the higher levels. So we have Leo Raj, I think that's how you're supposed to say it, Restoration Shaman, more like just a shaman who occasionally casts Chain Heal on you and heal you for a little, but not really too much of a pocket healer. Although it'd be nice if Blizzard put in a pocket healer, although there is so much upkeep abilities in this game that maybe a pocket healer outdoor companion isn't as much of a big of a deal as a pocket tank like Defender Elona is. But here's Delvar Iron Fist. The only person I still have yet to collect, so to speak, or the only follower I still have yet to recruit, this isn't Pokemon, is a Shadow Priest. So Delvar Iron Fist is the other tank here. Supposed to be a Blood Death Knight. However, I have found that he does not tank at all. If I go out in DPS spec and I attack stuff, he doesn't try to pull aggro off of me. So let's head on out here and let's recruit him. Plus, he doesn't have the health pool. I mean, so you remember, Defender Elona was very close to my health pool as a DPS. 97,000 health. Yes. Oh, I could use a little muscle. Delvar is usually my backup if Elona gets killed in combat and is knocked out for an hour. Because while your bodyguard is knocked out and recovering, you can actually switch to another one and just cycle through them, so to speak. So hopefully you're not that bad that you cycle through. I think you can get 5 of them per faction or something. A couple of them are shared and stuff like that. But anyways, Delvar Iron Fist, sorry, Prop Paladin, a lot better than Blood Death Knight. Maybe Blizzard should fix that so Iron Fist is an alternative to Elona. Because it'd be nice if we didn't have the Draenor, battle noises and stuff like that when you're trying to do your quests. Alright, let's fly off to Nagrand, the perfect place to end this video. And before the ad continues, folks start yelling at me for doing a little too much of a beast out. You'd have to listen to the podcast to know that inside joke. Outofcontinuous.com and subscribe to their RSS feed. Either way, as far as the music goes, yes, I like the music. I really do. Well, let's just do some sightseeing here. I like the music. I really do. But that Alliance Garrison theme, yeah, I've heard it a few too many times. Yay, Talador! It looks like the Blood Elf starting area, sort of. Either way. Well, it is almost like a recolor of Terrakar Forest, but it sure looks nice. It really kind of shows you how much things there are. That's Auchindoun way over there before it blew up. I feel like I'm on some kind of tour or something. If you look to your left, you'll see Auchindoun, that place that was blown up in the Burning Crusade that the Draenor used to house their dead. It's also a 5-man in here, and I've had some idiots not handle the mechanics properly in the fights. Hey, there's Shatrath before the planet got blown up. Really nice city, haven't gotten there yet. It's a level 100 area that's dominated by the Iron Horde, which is really too bad. I mean, it'd be really nice if we had, like, a story element where we retake Shatrath, because so many people, remember Shatrath from the Burning Crusade, and they like it. Man, here's a site for ooh, what's that? Bunch of warlocks doing stuff there. Here's a site for Sorai's Nagrand during the height of the orcs, with the Warsong tribe. The Warsong tribe pretty much dominating this area. Yeah, I've just started the quest here. Talar is taken. I don't know if the player, the Alliance, can take it back. Please no spoilers in the comments, although by the time I start paying attention to the comments for this video, I probably will have quested enough here and stuff like that. I liked Nagrand in the Burning Crusade, and I definitely like it here. Look at how lush and green that is. This is like Nagrand HD. And just you wait until we land. Let's put the UI back on. Tulari Station. This is where I have the corral. This is where... ooh, I have a quest to turn in. Let's turn in a quest. It's unbelievable how arrogant these Rangari can be. Rangari is a bunch of Draenor Rangers. I've seen some Draenor rogues, too, but... Something you've probably noticed is I'm using all ground mounts. That's because there is no flight in this game yet. Last I heard, if flight's added back in, it would probably get added in patch 6.1. Now, I put a really incendiary tweet on Twitter last night saying if Blizzard doesn't bring flying back in 6.1, I'll probably cancel my subscription. And that's true. The cat's out of the bag, Blizzard. Flying needs to be in this game. It's been in the game before. It's time to bring it back and have Draenor be flyable. I mean, they had to go back and fix the old world because it wasn't developed with flying in mind. I hope they haven't regressed just to get Draenor out the door ASAP. But as you can see, with the upgraded vegetation, we have ourselves a savage new Nagran to explore. And where's the animals? Far more vegetation, much tougher cleft hoofs, and there's wandering wolves around too. And these wolves are a real pain in the neck sometimes. Matter of fact, just for comparison's sake, let's compare the new Shatrath with the old, the new Nagran with the old Nagran. So take it in. So let's just do some mounted combat here, and this is why everybody and their mother's uncle takes the corral instead of the tank works. The ancient leatherhide is a very powerful monster, so yeah, there's some monsters out here that were based on, or there's some outdoor mobs in these zones that are meant to be hard and kill you unless you're really well geared, and you will not be well geared well enough when you're leveling in order to kill those mobs. Nice little lesson they took from the Timeless Isle. Oh, here's something you might remember from Burning Crusade. A bunch of wind rocks gathering around a cleft hoof they just killed. Well, let's do some mounted combat. It's time to get like the Mongols or something. Sorry, I've got Crash Course World History kind of stuck in my head, and that whole everything matters unless you're the Mongols. But cool, check it out. You can actually fight. It is kind of cheesy and tacky. You do your moves by swinging your weapon or casting your spells on a mount, which really is going to be lousy for the casters because casters got nerfed, so they can't cast as much while they're moving. But I could just imagine, like last go-round, elemental shamans shooting lightning bolts while riding these things. It's really too bad they didn't keep that sort of thing going. All right, just for comparison to show you how much, even though is the music on? Yeah, there's actually some music tracks here that were present in Burning Crusade Nagrand as well. But just for comparison, we're near Talar, so to speak. Let's compare this nice new HD Nagrand to the old Burning Crusade one. This was my favorite zone in Burning Crusade. I love the scenery. I still kind of like the scenery, but it just hasn't aged well. Just look at the difference, man. Here's Talar. Look at the drop in polygons and everything. Oh, man. But I think outside here there's one area where a bunch of wind rocks are eating a cleft hoof or something. Where was that? Oh, it looks like the grass is still here. It just looks a little sloppy. Oshigun. Forgot where the wind rocks are. Hey, during the hunger. I'll bet I can one-shot him now. Remember when this guy used to stomp all over you and kill you and stuff and things like that? I'll bet one single holy prism takes him out. Cha-ching! Of course, some of that, is because of the boosted damage when fighting older mobs. So I'm going to do from previous expansions, or at least previous expansions coming up to Cataclysm. Mists of Pandaria still do your normal damage, but look at the difference in the grass. Oh, man. Yeah, it hasn't aged well. Of course, we all know what Blizzard's going to say if anyone says, hey, why don't you upgrade the graphics? Well, we can't devote resources to improving an old part of the game because it'll take away resources from making new parts of the game. You know, that thing they said for how long? Oh, man. Well, at least the grass moves now with the new graphics engine, but it's just old grass. And this is old everything. Look at this. It's almost like Guild Wars 2's painter aesthetic, except this isn't done on purpose. It's just old graphics. Still love the scenery, though. This may be an old zone that hasn't aged well, but the nice little scenic sky. Turn off the UI here. Yeah. Nice. Just old. Dun 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 dun.
Big red dark portal. Where does it go?
Hey, this worked. Oh no! Don't tell me the dark portal's broken it. Well, it was. Hey, I said it wasn't showing a loading screen. Well, as Garrosh said,
Times change.
or something. This is Storm Shield, the last place we'll be looking at in this video, which sadly has failed to be shorter than I wanted it to be. This is Storm Shield, the Alliance PvP base for Ashran, which is this giant island that we're supposed to, that Alliance and Horde 150 versus 150 are supposed to beat each other up on, but I don't know. It's not as organized as the Pandaria places. There are portals here and there are services here, but the big thing it's missing is a portal to Pandaria. I haven't seen a portal to Pandaria yet, or maybe I'm missing something here, but every time when the old portal cities were in, every single time a new portal thing came out, there'd be an additional portal going back to all the previous ones. So I don't know where the Pandaria portal here is, or maybe that's what's being built over there, and in patch 6.1 it'll be finished. But, not really too thrilled with Ashran. I'll keep the Pandaria portal until, no doubt, Blizzard will nerf the Pandaria shrines so that people stop using them for their portals. I don't know why. It load balances the servers better, Blizzard, when there's more options for travel. But I came back to the mess hall because...
How can I help?
The Draenor playing the harp. And it's the theme from Talador, which is the nod to Final Fantasy VI, my favorite Final Fantasy game of all time. Yeah. So as far as Warlords of Draenor goes, is it worth picking up? The answer is, hey, wait a minute. I went to Burning Crusade zones and, hey, where's Defender Ilona? Or does she not show up here because this is technically a PvP area? We'll worry about that later. But let's listen to this beautiful harp music. So, in terms of Warlords of Draenor, is it worth it to pick this game up? I think so. Just don't go out of your way to get it. There were infrastructure issues when the game first launched. Fortunately, that has mostly resolved itself. I don't see queues for Stormrays that are more than like 200 people now, and that's a huge server. 0 queues on Terralion and Garrosh, my Horde server. So I'm probably going to boost another character to 90 and have a main and an alt to level through. Once I finish leveling good main here, pick which alt I want to level next. And that's really the thing. That's the problem that I have with this game right now, is Blizzard outdid themselves. Most of the problems that I've had so far have been from anything involving other players. Morons not knowing what to do in dungeons, and the biggest problem I'm running into in the dungeons is people are so used to, because this game went over a year without getting new content, with patch 5.4 at the end of Mists, because this game went over more than a year without new content, people are used to things being too easy. And because of that, they're just way too used. Guy dances like an idiot. Moonkin can do all the dancing. People are way too used to stuff being way too easy. That's the problem. That's a big problem. And until people get used to stuff being challenging again, everything I've done that involves other players has been frustrating as heck. Dungeons where nobody knows what they're doing, healers get blamed for everybody dying, tanks getting blamed sometimes too, and then we wonder why there's big long DPS queues because nobody wants to heal or tank. Same old social dynamics and rubbish going on that have been going on with this game since the beginning. And sadly, it continues. If flying doesn't come back in 6.1, I'm thinking of finishing, when I'm sick of the single-player stuff, probably just canceling, going back to Guild Wars 2. Blizzard's gonna have to step up their game. They've done a really good job getting the game back up to 10 million subscribers, but who are these 10 million people? Oh man. They made such a good choice putting this theme into the game, and since it shows up in multiple zones, I'm guessing that it's not going anywhere. I don't know. Blizzard versus Square Enix, they can work that out on their own. But I just love this tune. Hey, maybe if they can get some working portals to Pandaria, I'll come here for, you know what would be nice? Why can't we have an innkeeper here and have me set my Hearthstone here and just listen to the harp music whenever I want to log out? I don't know. So this is what I plan on doing for Play Some Stuff videos. A few games, coverage of a few games. I'm thinking besides commentary coverage like this, of also doing some commentary, or also doing more like story-based stuff. I've seen a few Let's Plays that have been giving me some ideas lately. So leave some feedback. Where do you want this series to go? Or should I just admit that I'm not PewDiePie and give up on this crap once and for all? So that is a basic introduction to Warlords of Draenor. This has been Play Some Stuff. I'm MultimediaJay. Thanks for watching, everybody. Till next time, this is MultimediaJay, signing off. Thanks for stopping by, and game on.